Hey everyone, Christos here with PowerBI. Have you ever had to do a data audit, try to find why two sets of data don't match? I mean, they should, right? I mean, there's no reason why things from Department A shouldn't match Department B, but it's a head scratcher. You don't really understand why it doesn't match. There's a function in PowerBI called the ANTIJoin. It allows you to take data from table A and data from table B, merge them together, and then provide you with a list of those fields that don't exist in table B. I know it's a little confusing. Let's go to PowerBI and let me show you what I'm talking about. So here's a list of neighborhoods from the City of Cincinnati Police Department over here on the right and the Fire Department over on the left. Now, you can easily see that there's 54 records on the Police Department to 51 records on the Fire Department. So how do we know what exists on the one side and not the other? Obviously, this is a small data set. You could manually go through this and be done fairly quickly. But what if you had hundreds, if not thousands of rows? How are you going to do this? So the first thing you're going to do is right-click on one of these data sets, in this case, police neighborhoods, and select Edit Query. Now, when this comes up, I'm going to select Merge Queries, but Merge Queries as New. And now I'm going to select Police Neighborhoods as my left table and Fire Neighborhoods as my right table. And then this is where the magic happens. Under Join Kind, I'm going to choose Left Anti. Now in this example, it's important that I use the fuzzy matching because I know that these neighborhoods were manually input and I have to account for things like extra spaces or other wackadoodle stuff that might happen when one manually inputs data. Let's go ahead and hit OK and see what happens. We have a list of 9 neighborhoods that exist in the Police Department data but don't exist in the Fire Department data. Let's go ahead and hit Close and Apply and see what, and take the next step. So it's running through the data. This was lightning fast, but if you've got millions of rows of data, this is going to take a little bit of time. So let's go ahead and bring in the CPD neighborhood information. So again, you could very easily scan through this data and see that CBD Riverfront doesn't exist over here. But this merge one, this new ANTIJoin, lists all these things out. CBD Riverfront, Clifton / University Heights, Fairview, right? These are all things that don't exist over here. But I want to show you something neat. You see where it says Mount Airy over here? Well, that in the police department, they clearly spelled Mount Airy. But the fire department, they abbreviated. They went with MT.Airy. Well, we want it to be the same thing. Now, again, if you've got a lot of data and you've got this on like a SQL server, maybe this isn't the place you want to do this. But maybe if you're just kind of trying to get things thrown together because you've got a big meeting and you just need to have this thing done as quickly as possible, here's one way you might want to change the data. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to right click on Mount Airy. I'm going to select Copy Value. I'm going to go now to the Edit Query. I'm going to find Mount Airy over here. And I'm going to select Replace Values. And then I'm going to paste Mount Airy in here. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to do Close and Apply. This is what I love about PowerBI. It's going to read through everything. And now look what happened. First, Mount Airy disappeared over on our merge table because when PowerBI ran through all of its stuff, it realized, oh, wait a second, there's a Mount Airy here and there's a Mount Airy here. Same thing. I could keep going down this list and getting the data to align better. And then I could rerun this and I could do the exact opposite. Now tell me everything's in the fire department and not in police department. ideally, you want to handle these discrepancies at the source. You want to go back to where this data lives. Right? You want to do that ideally. But in this example, I'm extracting this data from the city of Cincinnati. I can't go to them and say, hey, change your data. So I have to use a tool like Power BI to do this. And again, keep in mind, the really cool thing about Power BI is every time I refresh this data, it's going to go through these steps. So when I bring in new data, and when the new fire department data says mt.airy, it's going to read through and it's going to change everything that's mt.airy and change it to Mount Airy. Super awesome stuff. So anyways, my name is Christos. Again, this is Better at BI. I really hope you've learned something. I would love it if you hit like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, please hit those down below. But again, until next time, Christos, Better at BI. See ya.